In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to use the MirrorMe plugin by Astute Graphics. And so this will be useful to those of you who have Astute Graphics plugins. If you have a subscription, you'll have access to this plugin. And then if you don't, this is actually a free plugin. So you can go to the Astute Graphics website so you can get access to this plugin for free and give it a try. So what we're going to do, first of all, is locate this plugin. So once you have it installed, you'll go to the window menu and then you'll come down to Astute Graphics and then see this long list of all of the plugins that they include. This one is called MirrorMe, and so it's right here. When you release on MirrorMe, it's going to open up this panel here. And like a lot of Astute Graphics tools, it's a combination of a tool and a panel. So here's the panel, and then over in my advanced toolbar, I can see that butterfly here. So that is the tool. Now what this plugin does is it allows you to put axes in your file and then draw in symmetry. So for example, here is a radial symmetry artwork that I created using this plugin. And then here is one with just a single axis down the center that I reflected. So I drew everything on one side and it automatically reflected to the other side. And then here's another kind of like a little design that I created from another piece of artwork. So it's a really powerful plugin. Now let's look at how to use it. So over here in the panel, just make sure that you don't have the compact panel chosen, that instead you have the expanded panel chosen so you have access to all the options here. And then you're really going to need to decide which route you're going to go here. Do you want to apply symmetry axis to one object or group, or do you want to apply it to the whole layer? And you can control that by using these buttons here. And as you can see, when I click on one, it already activates the tool, and we're looking at two axes here. So if I come over here to number of axes, this is how you can control this, just by moving this number up and down, and it's kind of floating around here until I place it. So what I'm going to do for this instead is I'm going to switch to my selection tool by tapping V on my keyboard, and then I'm going to come over here and just draw something, a star, for example, and then I'll go back over here and we'll start from this mode, which is applying it to just this one object. So I'll click here, and now as we can see, that reflection is happening live here. And again, I can use this right here to change the number of axes as I'm floating around here with the tool. But also there is a keyboard shortcut that lets you add or subtract more, and that is by using the bracket keys. So just like you would use bracket keys to enlarge or reduce the size of a brush, use the bracket keys here to enlarge or reduce the number of axes. And if you look right here to the quadrant where the live star is, you'll see those two little arrows pointing in. That's just telling you that this is the active segment of this symmetry. So whatever is appearing in that area is what's going to be reflected in the other segments. So now that I've decided, okay, let's hover it in here, and then I like this design, let's just say that, and I'm going to click right there to place this, and then I see this pop up here, and I'll click on Apply to Selection to complete this. You can see when I click, now we've kind of, we're starting over again in a sense, and I have the tool here, and it's reflecting everything else. And so what I want to do now is just switch to another tool. So again, if we look over here in the toolbar, I currently have the MirrorMe tool turned on. But if I come up and just tap on the selection tool, then I'm done with that live reflection, and I just have the object that I created here. And what's interesting about this, I think what's super powerful about this, is that I had this checkbox turned on, trim and join paths. So when I clicked apply to selection, it finished that, and the plugin actually joined all of these into one shape. It's like a compound path there. So that's just really pretty amazing that it kind of takes care of that for you. So let's go through and look at the layer version of this, because most of the time when I'm using it, I want to apply it to a layer because that will allow me to do more live drawing and, create mandalas and things like that. So let's try that. So notice I just got rid of those stars, and I'm on layer 4 and it's an empty layer. And that's because everything that you draw in that active area on that layer is going to be reflected. Then I'm going to go over here to the panel and I'm going to switch into the mode where we have it set to apply to a layer. And then I'm going to use my bracket keys and just, add a couple more axes like that. And then I'm going to click here to place this in the center of my artboard. And then it's asking me if I want to apply it to the layer. I'll click that to make that happen. And so now this is fixed in that position. It doesn't mean that I can't move it. So I can move it around here and click to apply it to the layer. And then over here in the center area, we have some options. So as you can see, the X and Y coordinates are there. I've just put this in a random place in the center of my screen. But if you want to actually dial in an absolute, location that's in the center of your artboard, you can do it here. This right here, the angle, I'm just going to start using my up and down arrows on my keyboard. And so you can see how that is working there. So you can just make it at any rotation angle that you want. And again, it's asking me if I want to apply it to the layer because I've just changed the position of it. So I'll do that. And then of course I have trim and join paths turned on because I really love that feature. And then I'm going to go over and let's see, I'm switching to my tablet here so I can really draw. And I'm going to grab my pencil tool and let me give this a black line. And then I'm going to just start drawing inside of the active quadrant. So you can see where we have those little arrows pointing in. And because I have trim and join paths turned on, when I cross the boundary here and release, you can see how it creates a complete shape here. So I'm just drawing a little bit more. And I didn't like that, so I'm going to delete that. That's pretty. Okay, it's a really thick stroke weight. So I'm just going to do a little bit more drawing, and there we go. So a couple of things on the panel that you're going to want to look at are right here. You want to make sure that you have this active checkbox checked. If you don't, you're not going to see the drawing as you're drawing it. And then down here at the bottom, when you have this checkbox checked, you can see there's a little bit of dimming going on in these other areas, but let's see, go up to a higher number here, and then we can see they really get screened back. So if you need that assistance to sort of help you focus on where you need to be drawing here, you can use this. And then finally, when you're done, this button, remove axes. And sometimes I forget how this tool works if I haven't used it in a while, and I'm reluctant to click on a button that says remove because that's going to be the end of this. But this is how you complete what you're doing, and now you have, regular Illustrator paths that you can edit however you want to. And then some of them will be joined and others will not. So if you can see here, let me switch to my selection tool. So you can see there is a join right there in that corner, but of course where one path dies into another one, that's, those are separate paths there. But wherever it crossed that line, when you really cross over the line, you get a complete join there. And then I can continue on editing this however I like in Illustrator. Now let's take a look at what happens if you don't have trim and join paths checked here. So what we can see is I've placed this axes here and it's on a fresh layer and it's now dotted lines. And this is because I have this unchecked. And I can still, rotate and move this around. And then of course, when I make a change to the position, it asks me again if I want to apply it to the layer. Now I've got my brush tool and a brush, and I'm just going to draw like that. And notice we're not seeing any of the repeats here, and that's because I don't have this checkbox turned on. So if you ever are wondering why am I not seeing this, it's probably this checkbox here. So now we can see it reflected. And then without trim and join paths selected, when I draw across the boundary like that, we get the full path there. So I'm going to just keep drawing, and let me just try to connect this a little bit like that. So let's say this is the design we want, and we're going to finalize it by clicking on the Remove Axes button. And there it is. So nothing has been joined. These are all separate pieces here, as you can see, and then these overlapping paths here. Now I have just a few more tips before we wrap up. If you want to get this paisley art, you can go to our Art Brush Workflows class, and this is part of the collection of brushes that you can get from that class. This was the brush that I was using before to make that line art. So what this is, basically I dragged it out here. It's just a paisley, made up of some fills and a few dotted strokes. So trim and join paths is turned on now, and watch what happens. When I start moving this across the line, it actually starts editing that path. So if you want to be able to play with art before you edit it, then you're going to want to uncheck this. So let's go undo until I have my art back to normal there, and then I'm going to uncheck this. Again, I need to apply this to the layer, and then I can switch to my selection tool and grab this and start overlapping these to sort of determine a design without actually having that editing done. Another tip is that if you don't click the Remove Axes button, you can continue working with these with all your settings. And these will actually stay intact when you save and close the file. So let's try that out. I'm going to Command or Control S to save this art, and then I'm going to come up here and close the file. And then I'm going to go back up to the File menu, open Recent Files, and let's open that file again. And as long as you have the MirrorMe plugin installed, this will be active here. And so I can come back again and resume editing. And then when I decide I want to trim and join the paths, I can turn this back on. And this time, let's try Apply to Selection. And now, as I move here, I can preview what the design looks like before I click. So I can look at this and see how it's going. And then I'm just going to click to place the axes like that, and then apply it to the selection. And now it's actually created that design. But of course, we still have the tool active. So if I switch, to my selection tool, it did some mirroring there, but it gave me the art. Let me go ahead and get rid of all of this excess around here. But it gave me that edited art that I originally created when I was hovering there. And it's just really, it's pretty incredible how it does that. So this is definitely worth playing with and experimenting with. And hopefully these tips have been helpful and that you're off and running. If you need more information about MirrorMe and how it works, you can just click on this little question mark here on the panel, and this is going to launch your Astute Manager, but it's going straight to the documentation for this tool, so you can see all the things here that you need to know about it. Can't wait to see what you do with this tool. My name is Laura Coyle. I teach Adobe Illustrator here on YouTube and in my online learning community. Find out more at my website, lauracoylecreative.com. And be sure to join my email list. You'll receive a welcome gift and helpful Illustrator tips delivered right to your inbox. And thanks for watching.